With the origin trait that they have, I think most of the raid weapons are S tier, maybe not so much the LMG, but even on that, the trait helps it a lot when you break it down. Remember, in team play, reloading near allies overflows the mag. Just free ammo on that reload in team play. I've covered Smite, Yasmin. Today's video brings us to the Doom of Chelchis, 180 RPM, Void Scout, Precision Frame. It's another banger as far as rare perk combinations overall usage. I have a crafted version I want to talk about, but there are some other roles as well. Some of these roles are valuable, and some you might want to keep as a random role because of what they bring to the table, because there are a lot of rare perk combinations on this weapon. It's obtained from various ways in the raid, possibly even the first chest. You get 5 red borders, you get that pattern, you can craft it. The role I crafted sets me up for GMs, general play, seasonal play, gambit, doesn't matter. Just an all-around high utility role. There's some changeable things about it, but as with any weapon, the role that you want, the role that you will eventually craft, is decided where you want to use it and how you are going to use it. Because if you don't want a GM style weapon, there's still a ton of great roles for general play and other activities. So as a 180 RPM Void Scout, the 180's got a small glow up. Better in PvP now, gradually getting better in PvE, slowly getting better in PvE opposed to where they came from. I have some PvP footage here and there. The roll's going to be in the top left. It's not really a PvP weapon though. It's like a 4 out of 10. There are better scouts. There are better 180 scouts. The rolls can work if you play them right and utilize their perks. It's definitely for PvE. It's got a lot to offer there. And PvE wise, as far as the raid weapons, it's in the top 2 to craft. At least I think so. So let's talk about the perks. All of them can get enhanced. First, in the third column, we have Rangefinder. Enhanced gets +5 handling. It's a waste compared to what else is here. PvE or the Crucible. Don't even consider it. Effective range with that zoom magnification. Steady hands. Get a kill. All weapons have quick draw. Snappy feeling on the weapon itself. Enhanced is a slightly longer duration. I love this perk, and I view it as a random roll perk. If you get a good roll that has this, paired with a nice 4th column perk, I would use it there, but I wouldn't craft one. Adaptive Munitions. Great perk for the 3rd column. 166 damage per hit, up to 500% more, going against other shields. So this is a Void Scout. It makes it hit all shields. Great for match game. Enhanced, the damage increase stacks, and the max is increased by a multiplicative 20%. It's a shredder. It's worth noting, Hollow Denial is the best adaptive munition shield shredder in Destiny 2, but, you know, it's a trace in PvE. As long as you have the ammo, you're going to be good there. Stats for all, Sleeper, makes the weapon all around feel better. It does have some pairing perk combinations in that 4th. Hit 3 separate targets within 3 seconds, get +10 range, it's stability, +30 reload, +35 handling with a scaler, so a lot better reload, it's more stable, it's more snappy. Like I said, it does have its perk pairings, and the enhanced version makes it go from 10 to 11 seconds as far as its duration. Explosive Payload, S tier for it. They're staggering shots, makes enemies flinch. The bullet split in half, and on this scout, the base crit is 3,474, the body is 2,174. With Explosive Payload, split into 2. For the crit, 2,399, 1,413. So the total is going to be 3,812. Body shot, 1,413 and 1,088. Combined, total damage is 2,501. So when you land a crit with explosive payload versus base, it's 10% more damage. A body shot versus base is 15% more damage. So it's simply free damage in a 3rd column perk. Keep in mind, it splashes. It can hit multiple targets. Great versus champions. And enhanced gives +5 range. Firefly, it's a great perk for its combined kit, right? It's got 2 things going on. Get a headshot, you get a fast reload, almost like an outlaw scaler, and then it also has that solar splash damage, the explosion. So it's good for ad clear. Enhanced gives a substantial reload speed when you land that crit final blow. VORPAL weapon, rare in the 3rd column, +5 reload for enhanced. 20% more damage to bosses, vehicles, and guardians in super. It's a worthy pick with the right pairing perk in that 4th column. On to the 4th column, we have Eye of the Storm. Love the perk, not so much for a scout. Even in the Crucible, you're gonna get way more traction out of other perks, no matter where you go. Unrelenting, it's a great perk. It got buffed like 4 seasons ago, I believe. It works on a point system, and kills have to happen within 8 seconds of each other. You have a long time. In PvP, it's every other kill. In PvE, kill 3 adds, and on that 3rd add, you're gonna get the health bump. Higher tier enemies makes it take less, so a boss is just gonna be immediately. When it procs, you get 80 points of health and health regeneration. It's great. Enhance gives +5 handling. Repulsor Brace. It is good. It is decent, but after seeing its brothers out there in the wild now, Volt Shot, Incandescent, it kind of leaves a little to be desired. If you down a target that's Void debuffed, you get an Overshield. Enhanced makes it to where that shield lasts longer. So a Devour Lock, Omni Hunter, Heart of Inmost Void Titan, just throwing out grenades, debuffing. It can work, but other perks are better suited unless you're making a 100% Void build. But even then, I would say no. One for all, S tier. Pop 3 enemies within 3 seconds of each other. You get one of the best damage bonuses in the game for a primary, 35% more damage. It lasts for 10 seconds. Enhanced goes to 11. Frenzy, be in combat for 12 seconds. Once something hits you or you hit them, you have to either receive or deal damage every 5 seconds until you reach 12. At 12 seconds, you get 15% more damage, a massive plus 50 handling and reload. It's a great perk. Enhanced means you get 5.5 seconds to deal or receive damage on your way to 12. Focus Fury, I love this perk on precision weapons. Land half the magazine as precision hits, and for 11 seconds, you deal 20% more damage. Enhanced is 12. As a scout, you sit back, you land shots, life's good, you get the damage bonus. In PvP, it's going to make the threshold to where you can do a 3-tap. Dragonfly, similar to Firefly, but not as powerful. It creates a void explosion since it is a void weapon on your crit final blows. Enhanced is plus 5 reload. We have some gems here. I'm going to be keeping a couple of these random rolls. Like, let's take VORPAL weapon Focus Fury. We have a double damage perk, column 3 and 4. Dealing 20% more damage to yellow bars. You keep laying into them, then you proc Focus Fury for the 20% on top. Think solo Lost Sector, solo play. And even better, as an option, would be VORPAL one for all. You could spread out the damage, get the 35%. Then when you start hitting that higher tier enemy, it's VORPAL on top. And primary weapons on higher tier enemies in a pinch with something like this is a good thing. Usually you're using rockets, snipers, things like that. Next, let's look at Firefly. We do have Firefly, Dragonfly, and I think that's a little bit of a novelty. It's going to be a general play machine. Like all these seasonal activities that come out, like right now on the pirate ships, it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. And I do plan to actually craft this if I don't get a random roll. Because look, if you get the pattern, if you can craft one of these things, you don't necessarily need enhanced perks for this combination. You can craft your main roll, which I did, we're going to get to in a second, and you can get a second roll to level 10. Level 10 gets you the base Firefly and Dragonfly. And that's just going to be fun to play with. But I do argue that these perks are going to be better separated, like Firefly Unrelenting, like right here. The Firefly collaterals will proc Unrelenting. You get the fast reload, you got the ad clear, you got the solar splash, you get health back. I would use this and take this over Firefly Dragonfly. On a personal level, I'm probably going to craft one to level 10 because I think that combination's just cool. And with Dragonfly, utilizing that with stats for all. Same but different. Say you kill one ad, splash a couple, collateral a couple, you're going to have the full stats for all buff. You're going to have ad clear with better handling, reload, all the things with it. So I do think that they are better separated, but what it really boils down to, in column 3, we have adaptive munitions and explosive payload. Column 4, one for all, frenzy, focus, fury. I believe the best roll all around is explosive payload, one for all. That's what I crafted. It is GM ready. It's any activity ready. Solo Lost Sector to general play to a raid to a GM. You have explosive payload for more damage. The splash from payload can hit multiple targets at once, so one shot could proc one for all instantly. It's great against champions, it staggers. You have the 35% with one for all, you have the 10% crit, 50% more body with explosive payload. It's just simply great. And when you break it down even further, the only other weapon that can have this perk combination is the Bane, also from the raid, the hand cannon. But the hand cannon has a better perk combo suited for it, and that leaves this scout as the undisputed winner for this perk combination. It does, because no way I'm taking this on the Bane with its perks with what it has. It's perfect for this scout. Not only is it safe, it's powerful. Think of all the content we do, the situations that we get into, and it always seems like scouts are in the artifact. It was a no-brainer for me. There is a case for adaptive munitions, one for all or frenzy, because you now have the all-around utility of match game, and you're going to be doing more damage with frenzy or one for all. So if you want to craft that, there's nothing wrong with that. It depends on what you have and what you want to use this thing for. On another note, we have explosive payload frenzy. Again, explosive payload doing the 10% more crit, 50% more body. Frenzy giving the 50% more damage with its massive stat jumps of plus 50 reload and handling. And this perk combination is only found on Fatebringer. It's the only other weapon, and I have it. It's great. Fighting the drop off, getting damage a couple of ways. It's snappy, it's fast. It's a great combination. So if you want to craft it, again, nothing wrong with that. I think that payload, one for all, is going to be a little bit better. It's great for everything, and when it comes to DPS, you're not going to be using it anyway. For the barrels and mag, I went with rounded out stats. So I have a stability masterwork, fluted, accurized rounds. I'm considering going arrowhead to get the 100 recoil direction, but it's fine. But the reality is, on a scout, there kind of isn't a wrong answer. Like, you can do heavy leans into stability, all handling, all range. Make sure you have vertical recoil with arrowhead, things like that. It's going to perform. I opted for the all-around stats for feel. This is a great weapon, and a 180 scout at that. Since it's void, it has that niche. Now, I think that the Volt Shot Tarnished Metal is good on a different level, because there are levels to these things. Both are going to be good. And as far as this Doom, this is what I wanted to craft. I'm glad that I was able to do so because I'm going to be using this thing in a ton of content. As far as the Crucible, I would just use a random roll when it drops to you. If you're able to raid and you want to use it out in PvP, go do that. I mean, I've had some fun with Focus Fury, One for All, Frenzy, getting 3 taps with Radiant. It can do well, but is restrained to the perks. If you can pull off what the perks want you to do, sure, it can do quite well. But there are better scouts out there. It's going to be a pure fun factor if you can have such a thing nowadays in the Crucible. So if you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. What do you think of this scout? I think it's up there as far as one of the best scouts in the game. I'm really glad that Tarnished and Doom are different energy. One's Void, one's Arc. It's better that they're separated to be used when applicable. This one's got rare perks, fills a role on a fire team, or any activity near flawlessly. I think it's great. But let's talk about it. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I am CoolGuy.